Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County Season 17 Reunion Parts 1 and 2. I literally found myself sticking up for Heather so doggone much this season. So doggone much. Like, when she first arrived on the scene, I thought that Heather Dubrow was a snob. The way that she treated Gretchen, the way she treated Kelly Dodd, I really liked Kelly Dodd's energy. I thought that Kelly Dodd had a clear example of othering going on, because she is a woman of color. The same way that I thought that Noelle had some othering going on. But ultimately, I just sort of have always dismissed Heather as that is her personality, the same way that I do with all the other women. Emily, her personality, that's her personality. There was a lot that erupted between Emily and Heather this season, and it seemed like Heather and Emily had a really hard time understanding each other. I feel like they both had valid points. They both were coming from good places, I think. I think that they weren't trying to crunch on anyone intentionally. I think that Tamra has that vindictive streak where she will try to crunch on you and it'll definitely be intentional. But what I was seeing go on between Emily and Heather this season definitely seemed just like a lost in translation type thing. It seemed like Shannon was also kind of joining in on this sort of fight ring against Heather as well, which they always do this. They always just kind of find a power broker, or the alpha woman for the season, and then they all just kind of, congregate together and attack some other person. Heather has been that woman at some point. Tamra has been that woman at some point. Shannon has been. It's just like they alternate it, whatever. But Shannon, it's the way that I've described in another video, where I've had those friends who, after I kind of grew out of my partying lifestyle and I wasn't, partying every other day or every day, going out clubbing, drinking and all that stuff, raving like I used to when I was 19 and 20 years old, and, at 25, 26, 27, 28, all the way up to 32 where I am now, when I still have those friends who are still living that lifestyle and nothing has changed to them, sometimes when I have conversations with them, we just are not coming from the same place, right? We're not in that same headspace. And that's what I got between Heather and Shannon. Shannon really seemed like she was coming after Heather. She had this sloppiness to her this season, towards both Gina and Heather, saying stuff that she doesn't remember, drunk dialing people, gossiping about Heather, okay, gossiping about Gina, kind of forgetting that she's saying stuff. That's where I saw Shannon at. I saw her in that space of where, like, we can't even have a constructive conversation. We can't even have a conversation about how you hurt in my feelings, or I don't feel like you're being a compassionate or empathetic friend, because you're not even really there fully. And so I really hope that Shannon gets the help that she needs, okay? I feel like if she will just stop for a moment, if she just stops for a moment, stops thinking about, silicone lips, that Orange County lifestyle, tans, trying to look as slim as possible, divorces, none of that stuff. If she just stops for a moment and only thinks about Shannon, discovering who Shannon is again, getting back to her, Dr. Moon Shannon, like her highest good, I think she's going to be okay. But I think that she is coming out of a toxic relationship. You hear all of her friends say it. And usually I don't like to get in that stuff. Usually I don't like to get into people's relationships. But it's clear that something is up with the John guy. I knew it from when she was saying how excited she was about her frozen food line and her wellness line, and he just was like, oh, well, you don't have any time to spend with me. I was like, And, they seem like enablers to one another. They seem, like they might be kind of in that party lifestyle, and that's probably not where you want to be at that phase in your life. So again, I hope that she just kind of comes back to, I think she's okay. She'll be okay. Just come back to focusing on that well-being, that self-confidence, that self-love, all of that stuff. Maybe she also needs to kind of go back to her childhood. I find a lot of stuff when you just have these phases in your life where you're wilding out, you can usually trace it back somehow to your childhood. Anyway, I think that Tamra, this thing with Tamra and Jen, I really wish that Tamra would understand, because I do think that Tamra is an empath like me, but I think she's a dark empath, okay? I think that she is very, very intuitive. She can catch on to people's emotions very easily. She's very in tune with her own emotions and with the emotions of others. But instead of being like an empath or like the witch, the Gloria the Good Witch, she's like the Wicked Witch of the East or West or whatever it was. It's like she will use that against you. She will come after you. And I think that she needs to basically grow in the way where she needs to know, it's like the Brooke situation. She needs to know where you can come out and you can tell your friends you're concerned about them, that, maybe the guy in their life is not good enough for them. She needs to learn to sort of let other people get to that themselves. Dark empaths, they basically are good, but they see into the darkness of like the universe, I guess. And I guess they use those powers for good, but they're not afraid to do bad to get there. And I think that Tamra, I don't know if she has ever had, because she's lived in Orange County for a long time. I don't know if she's seen some of these, situations where things don't end really well. But maybe she's really trying to protect her friends from something like that, because Jen's boyfriend, they've said, oh, he likes married women and all that stuff. So I don't know, maybe in her mind she thinks he could be someone who is dangerous, whether emotionally or otherwise, to her friend. In that case, I get it, but you kind of have to let people get there on their own, there is definitely a way to do it where you can be a little bit more subtle. But again, subtlety, that's not Tamra's name. I feel like Heather is really the other side of Tamra. I saw that one time in a thread online where they were like, Heather is basically the champagne version of Tamra or something like that. And I think it's true. I think it's, in a way, it's also why they don't cross each other. You know what I mean? Because Tamra will probably kick your butt. Heather will ruin all of your prospects around town, get you denied off of that bank loan, get you kicked out of all the good charity balls, So I think that's why neither of them cross each other. But, they're just so different. They're so inherently different. But I think there's a sisterhood there. I think there's kind of a bond there. But it's like, I feel like they're afraid to push it too far, because maybe they know what they're capable of. Not to say that they would ever be violent or anything like that, but maybe they know that, like, I will cut a metaphorically, so don't cross me. And they really want to be able to sort of teeter that line of like, okay, you're my co-star on a reality TV show, but I also like you as a friend, but I also know that there's something similar in us that is very, very, how do I want to say? It's very fierce. That's the word that I'm looking for. They're both very fierce. But again, I didn't like the way that Heather was treated. She really seemed like the punching bag. I think that they need to, again, allot for the fact that Heather's personality is not snobbish. It's not snobbish, but she is from a different echelon. She handles things a different way. She speaks with a different vocabulary. And I definitely know that a little bit. I know that experience a little bit, where people are just like, oh, what the heck? Where is she from? What does she think she's doing? Who she is? And around her family, around her circle of the people that she kind of runs in the same, school of fish with, That's probably not very bizarre. But around this group of women, I think that it's something that they all need to make concessions for. Same thing for Gina. There's some stuff that, like, for example, what Gina was wearing during the show, I would never, ever, ever wear that, you know? But you have to make concessions for who people are, you know, and meet people where they're at. I feel like Gina kind of brings this younger, more millennial space vibe to the show. But for me, I don't even think it doesn't reflect me as a millennial. You know, there's things that she says. For instance, you know, she's atheist. And I could never ever see myself as being atheist. But at the same time, my best friend is atheist. You know, some of the stuff that she says, it's brutal. It's brutal and kind of cool. To me, it's not necessarily something that I would say, but I might laugh in the moment. I actually see a lot of that between her and Emily. You know, like I would imagine that Emily is probably a person of faith because her husband is, isn't he a Mormon or Seventh-day Adventist? You know, like, no, I think it's Church of Latter-day Saints. Right? One of them. But I think that she's probably a person of God, and her best friend or the best friend on the show is an atheist. So it just goes to show you that people with different backgrounds, different ideas, different personalities, you can come together and sort of make a go of it. It just, sometimes there's going to be bumps in the road. Y'all, I also want to say I really like Jen. I think Jen brings something to the show that Emily brought for me when she first got there, honestly. Just a homegirl type vibe. Can party, have fun, but also is chill. You know, she's just got this chill vibe to her. I think that she brings a bit of sort of balance to this group of women. Not as much in sort of the elite way that Heather does, but sort of much more in a big sister type way, much more in sort of like the girl next door type way. And yeah, she just seems so down to earth. She's beautiful, you know, she's got that whole Orange County look, but inside of there I just see someone who is so genuine and warm and caring and inviting. I hope that she's going to be back on for next season. And, you know, you guys know I don't love Gina. I don't know. It just, some of the things she says seems really insensitive sometimes. And, you know, like, I can't even really put my finger on it. I can't even put my finger on it. But something about her seems a little contrived, I guess. That's probably the word that I'm looking for most, is contrived. It just seems like maybe she's someone who's deeply, deeply wounded on the inside, but they sort of mask it with a bunch of sarcasm or jokes or maybe this false sense of pride. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments and help me get there. But I need to see more. Maybe it'll strike me. But I think she's the reason that Vicky's not here anymore. So maybe that's why I've kind of like held you know, this thing. Oh, it's raining hard. Maybe that's why I've kind of like, you know, I felt some type of way towards her for a while. But anyway, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. I really think that Bravo is getting so contrived. Like that Halloween party, for example, it was the wives and the helper people. Everything just seems like it's just marketing, just Bravo execs marketing. It doesn't seem like, you know, why do you have a little fan? You have a little family van. You know, it doesn't seem like that Orange County, the Real Housewives of Orange County, what it was when it first came out. And I get it, shows evolve. But that was something organic, you know, like I said in the other videos. Like, if there was an event that somebody was throwing, it was because it was their idea. You know, if somebody was going out on a date, it was because it was their idea. It wasn't like marketing and some sort of contrived. But anyway, I am looking forward to next season. There's some things that are annoying me. Atlanta is annoying me more. Atlanta is even more contrived, and it seems like some very, very, some very kind of egocentric personalities are sort of just pushing the bus forward. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're new here, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, hit that bell so you know whenever I post a video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.